And thankfully, this is the last video because I'm tired. My voice is tired of doing this. So Chick-fil-A Bowl, ACC, SEC, and a very good matchup on paper here. Bama and Florida State. Defending champ Coach Plasma at home, hosting Bama fan who is on a winning streak in his bowl quest, which is always a good thing, a rare thing, as I know most of us know and joke about. It'll be a good matchup. We know Bama runs the ball. He does it well. Florida State can do the same. They can also pass the ball to there. Both teams can. They've got good defenses. It's just going to be a low-scoring game. Really no way around it. To me, I guess, at least in this video, it'll be I think it'll be a good matchup. I mean, obviously I'm going to root for the SEC since I've got vested interest with Kentucky. I'd like to see the conference do well, but I'm not sure when the last time they played was, but it will be a great matchup. And good luck to both coaches. Up next is the Ticket City Bowl. And this bowl will feature an interesting matchup, Northwestern and Bowling Green. I know on paper Northwestern is expected to win. Bowling Green has had a pretty solid season. Trying to look for the thing and pull it up. No, I haven't looked. There we go. Battles of mediocrity, record-wise, 6-6. U.S. Marine coming back, 6-6. Southern Blues, 6-6 at Northwestern. While points and points allowed are pretty much the same, Northwestern definitely has a better offense. They move the ball better through the air and on the ground. They also get more turnovers. So Bowling Green, they're going to be at a talent disadvantage for one, but the home field advantage may be able to help out. They're going to have to protect the ball well, and they're going to have to keep it close to the fourth quarter, see what happens. And up next is the Capital One Bowl. And in this one, we've got I definitely smiled when I saw this one. I think it's a very cool matchup. Florida and Nebraska, two traditional powerhouses. Both had good seasons. Runner-up in the SEC East at Florida, the mastermind of the flag football offense. He's got good weapons with Dempsey and Rainey, and he can pass the ball with Jeff. And Nebraska, surprisingly to most people expect him to run the ball. Well, 6 feet kind of turned things around and did what Bill Callahan could not do in all of his, just whatever you want to call it, they moved the ball well on both the ground and the air. So it should be a fun matchup to see. Not too many times you get to see the Huskers go into the swamp. I'll definitely keep my eye out, see what kind of impact Crick can have on the run game, and if the Big Ten defense can help control and contain the SEC speed. And up next, the Outback Bowl. Not gonna lie, I was kind of sad about this one because it's really bittersweet when you look at it. Good storyline. Go from Michigan to Kentucky, and what do you know? Look who I have to play. Oh, Coach Block 9-3. Myself also 9-3. From what I remember, it will be a tough matchup, even though Kentucky's still fairly fast, faster than it probably should be. Michigan is very fast. It's going to be a tough matchup. We don't really move the ball well through the air because we have a hard time creating space, and Newton is not exactly a picture-perfect quarterback, and then we have to deal with the speed of Smith and Shoelace on defense. So it'll provide quite an interesting challenge for SEC defense. Up next is the Gator Bowl, and that will feature Georgia at Wisconsin. Another matchup of the SEC against the Big Ten. Wisconsin got off to a good start this season, stumbled down the stretch, find themselves at 8-4, still very respectable and solid season for those guys. And you've got Georgia, who finished 8-4 as well. Trey had a good run to start and a couple of losses down the stretch. Otherwise, he could be competing for a SEC champion, or you would have been able to compete for SEC championship. A good matchup. I know Georgia runs the ball well. I got to face that and see it firsthand. Got a good tandem of backs, and Wisconsin does too. So both teams will run the ball. Both teams can pass the ball. And both teams have good defense. Guess we'll see if Georgia has enough speed to help create some issues for Wisconsin, rally to the ball, to help slow down their rush attack and get some pressure on the quarterback. Otherwise, Wisconsin's going to look to overpower them, as Big Ten teams tend to do. And next, we've got the GoDaddy.com Bowl. I feel like Jeff Daddy should be in this one and just have his "fuck yeah" slogan there instead of the nerdy-looking guy on the logo. So we've got C-Dub and the Red Hawks of Ohio at home against Florida Atlantic from the Sun Belt, 7-5, and Coach, I guess, Swell and Swelverman. I'll just say Swell because I don't want to mess up his name, and I'm probably still messing it up now. On paper, Miami of Ohio looks like they're going to be the favored team. They've got the talent advantage, but they don't perform as well defensively as you would hope, and that is where FAU is going to have a shot. They're going to have to protect the ball, of course, kind of what you have to do when you're a Sun Belt team, protect the ball and get the game into the fourth quarter and hope that you can get some mistakes and take advantage of some opportunities to get a lead and try to fight it out. That should be a solid matchup. And up next is the Cotton Bowl, and that's going to be Mississippi State, runner-up of the SEC, winner of the SEC West, Coach Outlaw, 10-3. On the road against Kansas State and Coach Brett, 10-2. Brett had a very good season, was hoping that he would be able to jump some teams late to be able to play in a BCS game, but that would not happen. It's still a good matchup for him and should be a very entertaining one. K-State's going to run the ball, and they're going to run it often. Mississippi State is going to try and do the same. I know they've got good passing numbers, but they're really built to run the football, and that's what Outlaw likes to do. So the question is, can a Big 12 defense that usually doesn't play too good, can they slow down a potent rushing attack? We'll see if they can. They've done a pretty good job of it throughout the course of their season now in the Big 12, and truthfully, they played pretty good defense in the conference that's not respected for that. So moving on, the Fight Hunger Bowl, and all these weird bowl game names, trying to be a little too creative. Army at Utah, battle of 2 7-5 teams, and Coach Matt, the brother of John, who also loves to run the ball. They have that in common. And Utah, Coach Untouchable, 7-5. I'm sure we all know who he is. He's been putting together some good quality articles in NDL ESPN the last couple of seasons and had a good year out in the pack. Obviously, you pass the ball better. I mean, you're playing Army. Almost everyone's going to pass the ball more. It's such a run-heavy team. So it comes down to, can you slow down Army's attack and not give up the big pass play when they just do decide to drop back? And on the other side, when Utah, can you try to build a lead to force them to have to pass the ball? Up next after that is Eastern Michigan at South Florida, and that would be the Compass Bowl. 7-5 is Eastern Michigan. South Florida 6-6, struggling down the stretch. Had a good win against UConn. We all know him for that. And Eastern Michigan, one of the lower ranked teams on paper to make a bowl, but Johnny's had a good season, so I would not be surprised if he's able to pull off another upset. And up next would be Central Michigan at Louisiana Tech. And this bowl game is the Potato Bowl. 8-4, Coach Bernie. A couple seasons here in the NDL. I remember playing him his first go-around. And Coach Razorback, good season out in the WAC. Again, giving them props. They had a very top-heavy conference there, probably not getting as much recognition as they should. This should be a good matchup. They run the ball well. They do protect the ball. And Central Michigan, I'm not sure they face an offense that is as high-powered as they're going to face here. So we'll see how they fare in this matchup. And one intriguing matchup for just the notoriety of the schools, West Virginia and North Carolina. Obviously, North Carolina more for basketball, but Oracle's trying to change that. Got talented, finished the season at 8-4. A late loss to Pitt. And I'm saying NC State, UNC, Oracle 7-5 down there with the Powder Blues. So on paper, things point to it being more skewed to North Carolina winning, but we know Talented is one of the best user players in the league, and as long as he has both his hands on the controller, he's capable of doing anything. North Carolina's got to be careful, and they've got to keep the ball on the ground and keep from putting the ball in the air too much. So up next, we've got the ones that everyone really look forward to, the BCS Bowl games, and up first is the Rose Bowl, and that would see Ohio State, of course, for winning the Big Ten over Nebraska. Coach Seat, his first BCS Bowl game bid, and Steam, who takes the spot that Oregon would have taken would they have not played in the championship game. So 10-2 for Steam, 9-4 for Ohio State. Ohio State does have 4 losses, but they are a very competitive team. They've been clicking towards the end of the season, so we got a lot of confidence and momentum right now. Stanford has had a good season, and there's really no shame in who they've lost to. It will be a tough matchup for Ohio State nonetheless, and they're going to have to deal with a quarterback that's capable of shredding any defense on this game, and Andrew Luck. Though he may not have as great of weapons as he had last season, he's still going to be damn good. So Steam is efficient and can pass the ball. We'll see if turnovers will come back to bite him in this one. Oh, number 2 in the BCS slate is the Fiesta Bowl, and that would be Texas and Pitt, 2 at-large bids, I believe. Could be wrong on that. Feel free to correct me if I am. And this is my favorite of the 4 because I voted for Doc to play in the championship, as you can probably see looking on my top 25, and I'm pretty sure I said it in the beginning of part 2 with the rankings, or at the end of part 1, whatever. I'm a really big fan of what Doc has done this season. Played a good out-of-conference schedule, did well. He's done well in conference, even with the 2 losses. Probably a loss away from playing in the championship if he would have been 11-1 instead of 10-2. But he's put together a good season, and he'll be on the road to play Texas and VVV. I really don't have much to say as far as, I just really don't have anything to say about the matchup itself. But this is the BCS Bowl game I look forward to the most. No offense to anyone else, but I think it has potential to be a classic. And I expect it to be a high-scoring game and come down to a close finish at the end. And whoever wins, but I think it'll be a good matchup. And number 3 of the BCS Bowl games will be the Orange Bowl, which will be maintained, thankfully, so I don't have to hear any complaining about that. And that will feature the one intriguing matchup as far as on paper: Miami hosting Nevada. Now, Miami also had an argument to play for a championship as they finished number 4. They had been 0 loss to Florida State. Had a loss earlier in the season, 11-2 finish, very solid performance from Dealer. And then Just Giver, 11-1, wins the WAC, wins the non-BCS at-large bid. For as good as a season as he's had, though, this is going to be a very tough matchup. They don't have the speed to match up with Miami. They don't have the defense to match up with Miami's offense. So he's going to have to be very creative in what he does to be able to maintain some momentum in this game and not let things spiral out of control, because it can get pretty bad if things start to fall off early. And the fourth game and final of the BCS Bowl games will be Cincinnati, an at-large, I believe, facing the reigning two-time SEC champ Dizzle, and the Gamecocks. And hopefully Lattimore will stay healthy in this game and not even make it be an issue. It's the end of the season, so why not? His bowl season, he should be rested. It should be nice now. It'll be an interesting matchup. South Carolina runs the ball, and they do it well. They're creative in their pass game to create space and get those backs out there. Cincinnati is another one of the Big East teams that's had a good run, 10-2, put together a good season. I don't think anybody's surprised by what he's done. And DC Riser's been pretty much the Big East, and they keep tooting their horn, not really trying to do it a whole lot, but they've just had some really good teams this year, and that's just another one of the bunch. And last but not least as far as importance, the one that we all care about, the one that everyone agonized about or did not in their voting, that number 2 spot for who would get the privilege to go travel to play Noel and try to keep him from winning another championship. And the privilege in this one goes to Crows as he takes his Mizzou Tigers on the road to play Oregon. Of course, on paper, Oregon's one of the better teams in the game. We know this. Noel's one of the best coaches in the league. We also know this, and he's had good runs with almost every team. I think with the exception of one season, Noel pretty much has always put together a good year. Maybe not always, a 12-1, 11-1. He's been a little, I won't say off, but he's still been a quality coach, but not always in the championship picture. So he's back now, and he's looking to take advantage of the opportunity now that he's here. Crows the same. The numbers are very similar. I'm sure someone will go through and talk about the actual players themselves and focus more on the people involved in the game. But Oregon, off the top of my head, I'm just going to go with Oregon. Just a gut feeling. Played Noel a couple times. I haven't played Crows. I know what Noel's about, know what he likes to do, and I think the teams that are involved in this game, it matches up good for Noel, and he is likely, as much as it'll pain Dave and some of NDL Florida, he is likely to bring home another crown. So that is the end, really, of this podcast. I've got a minute to ramble here. Odds are this will be the last show, as I said earlier. I don't know if I feel motivated with finals to do a recap of the bowls. I think today probably unmotivated me. I'm feeling sick, and I'm really tired of looking at this computer screen. So good luck to all of you in bowl games. Good luck to everyone next season in the draft as favorite part of year comes up, and everyone enjoy your break, and we will see you back on Inside the NDL next season. With that, signing off for the last time this season. Best of luck to everybody, and have a good month.